Hi, I'm JoeJoe, one of the naturalists for Napa Open Space District.
And I'm Jay. As you can see, we've got this amazing view shed here at Suscol Headwaters. There's Mount Tamalpais right behind us and Mount Diablo to the right.
And the size of the park is pretty decent, about 700 acres, and it was added to the Napa Open Space District in 2017.
As JoeJoe mentioned, Suscol Headwaters was acquired between 2015 and 2017. It's a really unique park to the Napa Open Space District because of its grasslands and really big views. Currently, access is through Skyline Park. It's a long but varied and interesting hike. In the future, the district looks forward to providing additional access. So this hike will serve as a description of the current hike to get to the preserve, and will touch a little on flora and fauna along the way. But it will also serve as a preview of the park's future potential. Most important, we'll come back around and cap this video with those really awesome views. When describing the trail to Suscol Headwaters Preserve, we should first mention that you'll really have to earn those views. It's 5.3 miles one way, so to compare to other hikes in the county, this is on par with hiking Mount St. Helena or hiking the full length of the Palisades. The trail starts at Skyline Wilderness Park, joins the Napa Solano Ridge Trail through a private easement, before connecting to Suscol. JoeJoe will meet you up ahead at each trail junction. Normally we'd be up to the challenge of the whole hike, of course, but for full transparency, we should mention that we got to ride part of the way up from Skyline's trail master, Tom Bunter.
We're getting ready to go on the Suscol Headwater portion from the Skyline area. We just went through the Napa Solano Ridge Trail, so it's about a mile from this location. So come along with us. Now we're at the beginning of the Headwater Preserve section. It's always good to close the gate when you see one. It's just a good etiquette rule because we have went through a private area of the easement.
Along the way we spotted some late spring flowers. In June, sticky monkey flower was still blooming quite vigorously, along with coyote mint, mariposa lilies, and some poppies were still holding on. Earlier in the spring is a real wildflower bonanza. Among many other flowers you can see are fiddlenecks, bluedicks, owl's clover, and sky and silver lupin. Though we don't feature any on this hike, it's important to note that one of the residents is the California red-legged frog here at the preserve. The southwest portion of the property, in fact, is designated as California red-legged frog critical habitat by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, so the district has plans in the future to construct a frog pond to improve this habitat further. Shortly after acquiring the preserve, portions of Suscol Headwaters burned during the Atlas Fire in October 2017. Napa is largely composed of fire-prone landscapes like the grasslands found throughout this preserve. These grasslands are composed primarily of non-native annual species from Europe, which grow tall with winter rains and then die out in the summer, leaving plentiful dry fuel for wildfires. Oak woodlands, also found within the park, have evolved to handle these intermittent fires that have been part of the California landscape for millennia. Thick bark protects the trees from the heat, and the naturally occurring sparser understory keep the fires from burning too hot or too high. In some cases, oak trees will look completely charred only to resprout leaves the following winter and survive. However, when there's significant thatch accumulation caused by non-native grasses, or a landscape where fire has been suppressed for too long, fires can destroy oak woodlands. This is another reminder of the important role that perennial native bunch grasses previously played in California's fire ecology. Fortunately, many of the oaks burned in the areas surrounding Suscol Headwaters have survived.
Now we're at Suscol Headwaters, and there's views for days around here, but I'm actually in front of a beautiful tree. This tree is the bay laurel tree. It's very beautiful. You usually find them in moist areas, but also in hot in parts of the trail as well. They have a beautiful aroma. As you pull the leaves, you can smell it. Very, very strong. This tree is telling me something. You can see how there are so many trunks around it. Years ago, probably there was a fire, and it burned this top portion of the tree, and it resprouted. And now this right here is the result of it. Pretty cool.
The views from the Suscol Headwaters Preserve are truly stellar. On a clear day, you can see Mount St. Helena and often Cobb Mountain just behind it, Mount Tamalpais, San Pablo and San Francisco Bays, the Golden Gate Bridge, the city of San Francisco, and Mount Diablo. Keeping in mind the length of the hike, your preparedness, and your own abilities, there's not really a bad time to hike the Suscol. In these photos, you can really see the contrast between the golden hills and the really rich green of winter and early spring. And if you haven't noticed yet, you can see for miles and miles and miles